Hey guys, this is Lil with another raid video. Apologies, it's been a couple of weeks, guys. Honestly, the kids have been sick. I've been busy at work, and we've got like painters and decorators and plasterers in, so it's just not been a good time to sit down. And frankly, I've not had time like between work and family. So today, I thought we'd talk about Trunda, because my last video was me pulling Trunda, and I said on that video, like, let me know if you want to see teams based around Trunda, or if you've had enough of Trunda and you just don't want to see her. Now, we had the news, like, was it last week, that they are going to be nerfing some champs. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do this video. We do not know. I mean, you've got to presume that Trunda's going to be in that list of champ nerfs, right? So I thought we'd do the video. If you've got a Trunda, like she was on the progressive, she was just on the progressive chance, so you might have her. You might have just picked her up. I just picked her up. I just booked her a couple of weeks ago. So I thought I'd go through like some of the teams. And again, you guys know me, so we're talking full auto teams. Like there's going to be no manual going on here. But I guess that's something that you need to think about. Like, are you willing to manual your Trunda key to get your maximum damage? For me, I'm like, as long as I'm doing a good amount of damage, I'm happy to sacrifice. Like, could I get an extra 500 million if I manual the key? Probably. Might get 1 billion extra, but do I want to? Do I want to spend an hour of my life when I can still be like top 3 in my clan, and just by full autoing it? So anyway, we'll go into some of those things to think about, and some of the teams that I went through, looked at, and some of the other stuff. So I thought we'd start with looking at, I'm guessing you guys probably saw it. So this is a video that Hades put out, when was it? It was 3 weeks ago, end of May, which was Hades copying one of my clanmates. So Big Head Mike, big shout out to him. He's on Twitch, so I will put his Twitch in the description down below. Go and hit him up. This was Hades, so he's a Big Head Mike is one of the other officers in my clan in Cthulhu, so I talk to him all the time. We're always giving each other grief on Discord. In fact, we were supposed to be having a Trunda off to see who could outdamage the other one on Trunda, but then he pulled like I can't remember if it was a 4 or a 5-star soul, so he's totally blasting me out the water now. But that was some good banter that we were having. So this is Hades trying to copy his key. Now at the time, it was a full auto double pane keeper, and I think originally, hold on, let me check my screenshots. Big Head Mike had this at like 2 billion when Hades was copying it. Hades managed to get it up to 138. 1.38. I don't know why, because like if I look at Hades' build, it was way better than Mike's build. So like more damage on his Trunda and stuff. So anyway, Mike's outdoing you there, Hades. Sorry. But since then, like I think even by the time Hades had put this video out, Mike's team was up to 3 billion. Which I've got here somewhere, hold on. That was his original, yeah. That was Mike's original team, was sort of there we go, let's just get that a bit bigger for you. So he was at 2 billion, this was about the time, you can see here, he's got his Trunda with his 2-star blessing. Then, once he gets the Trunda blessing, the 5-star Trunda blessing, it steps up to 3 billion. And now... he's on, I think he's top 3 on the Trunda normal teams on the global leaderboards with this, which was putting double pane keepers into Hex and putting 9-piece protection onto Eastrid. So yeah, again, full auto on normal, 4.6 billion. Like I'm not touching him at that. Like that's some impressive stuff. Okay, let's talk about a few of the considerations for me here are, and we'll talk about it in a minute. The first one is normal versus hard. So, like, depending on your builds, it is worth trying your Trunda team on both normal and hard. Normal is easier to keep all the heads dead, which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to one-shot them when they come back in. But actually, hard, you might be a bit more inconsistent. But actually, if you can, and this is what I found one of the weeks that I was running it, I couldn't quite hit 3 billion on normal with the team I was running, but I could easily hit like 1.7 billion on hard. So from a points perspective, that was better. So that's what I did. And that was when I laid down the gauntlet to Mike and went, hey, mate, come on. And that's when he brought this out. So, yeah, he really brought the big guns. In fact, he did message and he was like, that's okay. I think I could do that. I've got a 9-piece on my ear stud that I could put on. So, yeah, thanks, Mike. You definitely win that throwdown. So I'll just look at the sorts of teams that I was getting, right? Now, I should also point out, full disclosure, I pulled a Mashald since then. I also have pulled a, what's her name? Harima. since then. So actually, these top couple of teams weren't in here when I first, my first look was, all right, I've got a Trunda. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, what teams can I make? Yeah, and I stick it on hard, on normal on the current rotation, and then, I stick the boss damage up to a minimum of 500, and then I go, and again, this is a decision that you need to make, is, are you willing to auto or not? Because when I look at these teams, yeah, like if I'm willing to full auto, I can do bigger numbers than if I'm not. It's as simple as that. So, but for me, I'm like, if I can do a good couple of billion, I'm cool with full auto. I don't have to squeeze out an extra 500 million just to run it on auto. I'm fine with losing that damage. So, interestingly, it's brought me out a different one this time. So I would, I guess, let's just briefly. So there's a few different sort of team options here. The one thing that I'll say, and I've flagged this with the guys at HH before, and Saf's confirmed. I don't know if it's changed since then because this was months ago, but when you see a team in here and it's got number of battles, these are all 1. So here you go. So let's pick on this team that's got 8. Okay, and it's got different variants and it's got different battles. Now, the problem is, when I go back and you look at it at this level and it says, okay, 6 variations with a total of 8 battles, and the average damage, when I click it, I'm trying to highlight things, and then when I click it, it clicks me into the thing. So average damage 1.9, but that's because when you do a free regroup in the optimizer in Hydra, the optimizer counts that as a finished run. So and I checked this with the guys because I reported it as a bug originally. Like if we go over to the game, right, and we just take a team and I hit go, if I hit free regroup, right, so if I hit free regroup, doesn't count. If I hit end and then free regroup, it will count. So what the optimizer looks for here, so if I hit end battle, yeah, and that's going to be the worst Trunda key ever, and I'm going to drag down the score of this team in the optimizer if I hit keep. If I hit, if I don't do anything now, I've already dragged it down. I haven't because my optimizer is not turned on right now. And I just went and double checked that when I said it. I'm like, I haven't just actually uploaded that, have I? The problem is this screen is what then triggers it sending to the optimizer. So actually, your team might be a little bit inconsistent, yeah, which some people, including myself, would say, that's fine. I'm fine with if the Trunda key gets 1.5 billion 20% of the time, and the other 80% of the time it gets 3 billion, that's fine. Sometimes I've got a free regroup a couple of times, but then I'll hit that number, and that's fine. That's RNG, that happens. The problem is that all those free regroups, if you go to the end, if you see the end screen here, they all get uploaded to the optimizer. So personally, like, I really dislike that because it feels like the scores get dragged down by the odd bad run. For me, like, it should record committed keys, not keys where you've just got to the end screen, because you could reach turn limit and be, well, that was a terrible run, I'm going to free regroup, but it doesn't matter. You got to turn limit, you saw the end screen, and that was the trigger for the optimizer to upload it. So when you're in here looking at these teams and it says numbers of battles and numbers of variants, and it's got an average damage of 1.9, go into that and you can see, like, look, well, okay, whoever these builds are, that's a 3 billion key. Sorry, does that come out big enough for you guys? There you go. You know, this one here is a 3 billion key. So, you know, this team is capable of doing way better than what they've got it down at. And, you know, you can see here, like, these are obviously different people because they've got slightly different speeds. So it depends on your builds, but it also depends on the quality of the data in the optimizer. So I just wanted to point that out because, like, somebody, you know, when we were throwing teams back and forth on Discord, and someone was like, well, I don't see the teams that you're seeing. And I'm like, well, that's because I'm sending you screenshots of what's the best outcome. I'm not necessarily, like, including all the bad runs that it had. Like, it might have, like, you know, and they're scoring as an average. I just feel like, you know, I'm willing to accept a few free regroups. I'm fine with that. So anyway, let's talk about the teams that I looked at. And again, I didn't have Mashald when I was looking at this, so we'll talk about him in a minute. You know, so the aim here is talking about teams to run Trunda in full auto that can do a really good job. You know, and the one that I get asked a lot is like, well, I haven't got a reset, I haven't got a Yumiko, or I've only got a Kymar, and you know what? I don't think you need those anymore to do crazy numbers, again, while we can, until she gets nerfed. So like, this team, honestly, I didn't test this one. It's an interesting one, yeah, Thylesia. They're typically Emic plus Trunda plus some reset. So this was the team that I was interested in, personally. The Arbiter, Trunda, Gerptuk, Lydia, Lix, and Emic, because it uses champs that I'm not using for anything. Like, I'm not using my Lix for anything. I'm not using my Gerptuk for anything. I've got a decent blessing on Gerptuk. I think he's a 4-star. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This uses some champs that I'm not using. Like, whereas this team, well, my Earstrid is in my brutal team, so, you know, I can steal her, but I'd rather not. You know, if I can do just as much damage without. And again, here we get into, well, this is 2.7, this is 2.5, but then when you actually dig deeper, this one's 3.3, and then there's a, you know, well, there's only 2 keys. One key at 3.3, one key at 1.6. So, yeah, there is this double Nia team, but again, I didn't have Mashald at the time, and at the time, the only double Nia teams were manual. So I've seen people do really good keys with Trunda running double Nia, but they've always been manual. And actually, this one with Mashald is actually a full auto key, so actually quite interested in that one. Obviously, there's the Mike double Painkeeper key. If you want that team, I'll link to Hell Hades' video. You go check that out. There's no point in me running you through the whole thing. He's done a video like walking through all the champ builds and everything on that. Yeah, so this is the key that I was interested in. Because it used some champs that I just don't use, and it looked decent numbers for, you know, for a full auto team. So, but then I would say what you also want to do is come in here and just check, because when I went into all the keys above this one, like that were higher damage than this team, and then I looked at the Trunda build, the Trunda builds were crazy. Like, they were all like 6-star crushing rend, and I'm like, well, I haven't got a blessing for my Trunda, I just pulled her, she's got no blessing. You know, I mean, like this one is 276 speed with 8k attack. And 290 crit damage. Like, I'm not hitting that. like, in Savage. There's no way I'm hitting that speed. And again, that's do you go high or low speed is also a question. When I was looking at this, and it mustn't have been this team because it's not, there was one key with exactly the same team with a fast Trunda and another one with a slow Trunda, and they were the same damage. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try her in a slightly slower build to get her damage where I want it to be. And then what I tried originally was counter slicks in a full damage build, a little bit slower in a full damage build. So how did we do on that one? Let's have a look. Oh, spoilers. So I did try this one, which was a pod drag team. So again, bringing in an ally attack. So dropping the Arbiter, bringing in the pod drag for the ally attack and for the increase attack. But again, my champs are a little bit slower, which is why I'm guessing this didn't do as well. I'm guessing it was lacking the turn meter boosting from the Arbiter. So, 1.8 billion is okay, but I feel like Trunda's capable of more than that. So we ditched that one. And again, I didn't run all of these like multiple times because it takes an hour each time. But I just was testing out different teams. Another one was Duchess was one of the other teams that the optimizer suggested. So again, just replacing the Arbiter with a Duchess, and that way, if that Fearhead does come out, because the full auto teams, the Fearhead tends to be the problem. And I definitely found that, the Fearhead is the one that can mess you up. So yeah, this one, again, 2 billion, that's fine. I didn't feel like it was worth using my Duchess on. I was getting I was getting 2 billion with the Arbiter team, which is this one. So, this was one of my first runs with the actual team that I was thinking of running, which is the Trunda, the Lix, the Arbiter, the Lydia, the Emic, and the Gerptuk. I realised after this that, I really needed to sort out the blessings on the Lydia, and she was just in her spider build, which was just a random build. So yeah, I was like, okay, 2.3, that's decent. I feel like it's coming together. What I then did was I took the Lydia, gave her Cruelty Blessing, and put her in a Hex set, which is what pumped the damage right up. I then also decided to pull Lix out of I had her in a 6-piece Merciless, again, trying to get that reset from the set on her reset skill, which is kind of the key to most of these teams, is RNG, trying to get resets on people. So what I put counter slicks in was the same as what the team that I copied from the optimizer was, I think. No, it wasn't. It was a different team. So I put her into and we'll go through some of the champs in a minute. I put her in a Reflex plus 4-piece Merciless. So, doubling down on the reset. And what I then did, so, I couldn't break 3 billion. I tried a few times to, with the team to get it over 3 billion. And what I then did was just for funsies was run it on hard. And I got, 1.7 billion-ish on hard. And I was like, well, that's better. I'm not breaking 3 billion on normal. So do you know what? From a clash score, that's better. So this is what I ended up with. But let's go through. So what I've done, hold on. Here we go. So that team that was doing better than my team that I didn't have access to at the time. Let me just move. Oh, no, that's not me. Where am I? Here. Just move me a little bit. So this was the team that was the top in the optimizer, actually, and I've very quickly built my Mashald. Possibly not the best build in the world on him. What was he in? I think I put him in 6-piece Merciless. 6-piece Merciless. What did I? Hold on. We'll have to go and check now. Oh, it drives me crazy that it doesn't count those runs that you give up on. I did also pull a soul for Mashald in the whatever we're calling those prism soul shards. Okay, so there he is. And full disclosure, I've not finished his masteries yet. So, but yes, he is 6-piece merciless. And how are his stats? Yeah, 240 speed, 6k attack, 290 crit damage, and enough accuracy to get by in normal. So I ran this team earlier, just before this video, but the problem is Mashal died, so I stopped the run because it was like half an hour in, and honestly, if I don't record this now, I'm never going to record it. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and what I'll do is I will run this in full in a run where Mashal doesn't die, and I'll post on YouTube for how that does, and if it beats my if it breaks the 3 billion on normal, or if it beats my best score on hard. So yeah, these were the sort of teams that I was looking at. The Duchess one, the double near one, and then the Gerp Tuk, the Gerp Tuk and Counter Slicks one. That's been my best one so far. I will post if that's been any different, and if you want to, we can just run through a little bit of the start of it briefly. It runs like every other Trunda team, which is, you try and kill everything as quickly as possible, with the Gerp Tuk plus the, Stoked Fury, I think it's called. Did she get a weak hit there? She must have. And you kill everything, and then you reset a lot, and you hope that you get resets on your resets, and that's pretty much it. There you go. And it runs like that, and you just leave it, and you go about your day, and then you come back later. I like Counter Slicks here because she brings that slow. Like, it's the combination of the things that you need, like, the slow, the cooldown reset. So I managed to get her loads faster by switching her out of a damage build. And I'm going to have to check now because I can't remember what I actually... I'll leave that run in a second. We'll flip over. Here we go. So this is where the Trunda build, my Trunda build, ended up. I can make that a bit bigger for you. There you go. Oh, in fact, we could probably look at all of them. But yeah, so you see, it doesn't have the Hydra bonuses, does it? That's the problem. Okay, we'll do it in game. But yeah, that's how it goes. And when they spawn back in, you hope that you end up getting the Lydia drop defense and weaken, and the Trunda A2 at the same time. If you want to, you can target a head that you want to get the double hit on with Trunda, but it's not the point, is it? There you go. She pops them all again, and rinse and repeat. And what usually varies how you do is, does the cleansing head pop out with the poison cloud head, and you haven't managed to land your skills, you haven't managed to land your block buffs skills, and then 2 of them manage to get a poison cloud on, and that's really annoying. It happens, and that's where the RNG comes into it. But again, your aim here is not, am I getting the best score ever in the world? I mean, if you want to do that, then run it on manual, and you will. The aim here is doing good numbers without running it on manual. So yeah, right. I'm going to end this so that we can go and look at some of their builds. So I'll use the search just because. Sorry, the mic's in the way, so I can't see. I could just move the keyboard closer. There you go. So the Emic is just my Iron Twins, Phantom Shogun, Emic, used for everything. So yeah, he's just in his standard build. Mine is actually a little bit slower than most people's. All the ones that I saw in the optimizer their Emics were a little bit faster than that, sort of up in the 290s. Hasn't made any difference. He's not perfect. It's not 100%. Like, you are going to get somebody swallowed at some point, but you just got to break them out. But between Counter Slicks, Lydia, and Trunda, you get them out, even if it is Trunda that's in there. The Trunda is... Oh, yeah, I could have just shown you RSL help. That would have been easier, wouldn't it? So the Trunda's too slow for my liking. All the ones that I see like way higher, not really way higher, but the ones that are sort of 3.5 billion tend to have a faster Trunda. That's why I think the teams that I tried without the Arbiter weren't quite as good, because my Trunda is slow. But then I got her up to 7.8k attack. So again, with no blessing, if I get a blessing on her, a higher level blessing than the 1-star that she's got, then I might, with the extra attack that I would get from that, I might be tempted to drop some attack out of her build and put more speed into it. But yeah. I didn't realise she didn't have crit damage on this. Let's see if we can get that now. I thought all her gear had been... Hey, there we go. Max that out. There we go. Now she's got a slightly better build. I think everything else... I knew I'd done all the middle row. I thought I'd done the... I don't think I've got enough dust to do this one. Nope. I thought I'd done all of her accessories. So now she is just shy of 300. So yeah, like I feel like her build could be better. A blessing would really be helpful there. So let's go and have a look at counter slicks. So again, she is in 4-piece merciless and reflex for that doubling up on that chance of reset. My reflex gear isn't very good, so everyone's got cruelty blessing. I've still got her in Helm Smasher. I don't know if that's better or if I'd do better put her in War Master at this point, but just because she hasn't got that much damage in her build now. But yeah, I managed to get her up to 255. Again, her attack dropped, her crit damage dropped, just to get her into that build, really. But yeah, the double resets, again, the ones that were in the optimizer were more like 260 plus, 260 to 280. Who else did we have? Gerptuk. My Gerptuk is just in the random gear that I threw him in and like never used him. So, I maybe sped him up a little bit for this. But yeah, he's just in Guardian, not for any real reason. It's just what I put in him back in the day. I'd love to get him in 9-piece. Protection, and then I might consider turning off the A2 cleanse, just so that you can get more, more buffs on people. But yeah, he's just got a fast build. He doesn't need anything other than that. Just to, because this one I haven't even fully booked this out. We care about this one, but the continuous heals actually, you could put put more buffs out on people with that. It's just looking at ways to try and creep some damage in, some extra damage into the team. I rebuilt my Lydia into Hex because the team didn't have Hex, and that's what jumped the numbers way up. So she's 280, and and crit capped, but that's about it. And I don't think there was anyone else. Arbiter is Arbiter. She's in an Arbiter build. I think I slowed her. I gave her some accuracy because she didn't have any. Though I thought I changed her into a HP chest, if I'm honest. 350 speed, so slow. She was in a flat HP chest, so I thought I'd put her in a HP chest, if I'm honest with you. But anyway, maybe it was Bommel. It'll be in Bommel. I'll have thrown her into it. Oh God, where's that chest gone now then? I might just put her flat HP chest back on then. It's just her speed one. There you go. That's a bit more respectable. I did it, yeah. Arbiter is Arbiter. That's pretty much it. So, did we talk about everything? I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, that's pretty much where I got to. I'll run that Mashal team, and I'll let you know if it does any better. I do kind of like the Mashal team. Again, it would be great if you could get Earstrid into 9-piece protection, like Big Head Mike managed to do. Because that'd make a big difference. That's it, guys. Sorry. Slightly longer than I'd intended. As always, shout out to Big Ed Mike, shout out to Hades, and yeah, like and subscribe, guys. That's my Trunda full auto teams, what I was sort of looking at, what I would do. You know, there's quite a few options now. It's mainly based around reset champs. That could be double Painkeeper, single Painkeeper, Emic, not Emic, Nia, double Nia. Like, there's loads of options out there if you've got a Kymar, if you haven't got a Kymar. I saw one of my clanmates post a double Trunda team with a Kymar earlier that was absolutely crazy damage. I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head, but that was broken amounts of damage, way more than 4 billion. I think it was around the 10 billion mark. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. Like and subscribe. It helps me out, and I'll catch you all in the next one.